What we doing here? Salute to my audience. Hope you and your families are good. Make sure you're subscribed. The prayers. Someone asked me, what does prayers mean? The prayers are the people that's looking. They're not subscribed. They're not even thinking about subscribing. They're not thinking about turning the notification bell on. They're just forwarding to see who's he talking about, what's he talking about, and then they're going to forward out. They're the prayers, you know. And then they do the Chinese whispers thing and start spreading all sorts of propaganda and all sorts of nonsense. But, you know, what would the world be without the prayers? You know. Now you see the vibe. You know what I mean? That season next week, innit? It's that season now, you could say. My daughter's having the best time, you know. She's awaiting Santa's presents and that. You get me? Obviously, you know, when she gets to an age where I can talk to her and sit her down and say, let me talk to you. Take a seat. It's over, buddy. There's no Santa Claus. No. It's over for you. But nah, she loving it, man. So I hope you and yours are also. Now today I see a segment with Kay Cenat. Is that how you pronounce his name? Kai Cenat. Kay Cenat. No disrespect intended. But you know, streaming world on fire, subscribers, you name it, endorsement deals, you name it. He's a person that I don't really see get hated on, like comments. And now I know we all kind of get it. Everybody gets it. But he's just somebody that I've always known to be like supported, endorsed. You know, he seems cool, you know, like he seems himself. Obviously, I don't know Duke, but he just seems to be genuine from outside looking in. But I see something today and he was talking about his mental health. You know, obviously he's cut off his dreads and that now, you know, but he was talking about his mental health. And I was watching it thinking to myself, like, you know the saying, like, more money, more problems. More money, more stress. You know, the more you make, the more you spend. The more the bills are, the more the debts are. And I'm watching him talk on like his mental health and how, you know, he just wants to be a content creator. He just wants to create. That's his passion. That's what he loves to do. But he's been battling with a few other things. And it made me think, like, no matter how successful you get, the reality of mental health is always going to be there. Because, you see, for me, I got a problem with understanding how others feel because it's alienated to me. It's like it doesn't concern me. I know how I think, I know how I feel. And sometimes you expect people to be like yourself in certain regards, but everybody's different, bro. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm watching him do that, I'm just realizing, like, raw. Then I started looking at my situation and I'm saying to myself, hold on. Well, I suffer from anxiety. There was a time I was suffering from panic attacks and I used to think it was from weed. Hence why I don't smoke anymore. You know, I found myself going through these stages and then when I checked it out and I understood it's a part of mental health, it's a mental illness, I was like, what? Anxiety and that? Panic attacks? How? You know, I'm questioning everything. Like, no way, how? And then I started to understand how much things go under the umbrella of mental health, bro. So I had to realize to myself, like, raw, I've got mental health situations going on. And I think for our community, it's so alienated the conversation of mental health because we just get on with our day. Everybody's got problems, innit? No one's really got time to hear about your problems, you know? Obviously, yeah, you have one-on-one conversations with your folks and that, but no, everyone's got something going on in their life, man. You know what I'm saying? Life's difficult, innit? So where we come from and in our community, it's like, you know, it's not a topic of discussion. It rarely is. Even in the jailhouse, it rarely is. And I say to myself, why is that? Like, and again, I'm not, you know, I don't have the answers. You know, I don't know what the solutions are. I just know that it's real. Because when I look at the situation and I'm like, rah, I got mental health situations, you know. But I still feel like it don't phase my day-to-day life. But then I say that there's scenarios that I'm in, like even while I stopped going to all these clubs and all that, there was times I'd be in clubs and that. And you know when you feel claustrophobic. Like there's so much people in a small space or a small vicinity, and you just find yourself feeling at ease, uncomfortable, and it's like, yo, man, I can't even breathe in here. Like, yo, I'm stepping outside, need some air. And that used to happen to me a lot, to the point where I'd ask my mother, I'd phone my mother and say, yo, I'm finding myself stepping outside for air and like I can't breathe in certain situations. So then when I understood my symptoms led to mental health, mental illness, I was like, raw, how have I endorsed that? How has that come about? Like, what is it from? Is it all them times in jail when man's in small confined spaces, single cells and that? Where has it come from? Because how is this just happening now? So for me personally, I'm vulnerable to talk on it and showing you the realness because I don't want to hide it. It shouldn't be something that nobody hides, you know? And I don't know what the solution is to it. Like, you hear people go into therapy. I don't feel like I want to go see no therapist, bro. It's just something that I'll deal with, innit? But the reality is, how many of us go through something similar or have that? Could be different things under the umbrella of mental health. So to see Case Annette, I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. To see KC, I'm saying, rah, all the money in the world, but he feels like that. So then I knew this is real. Right? So when I brought it closer to me, to myself, and then I looked around at my folks and that, I'm saying, yo, in our community, we don't really talk about mental health. We don't. Even when I think about all these situations I've had online, since forwarding online, like Bouncer, Simon, Dangles, Melissa, aka Elaine the Pain. When I'm doing my segments and then I'm going to normal life to chill out, I'll be honest with you, it's just like, I'm cool. Like, there's times when I'm like, people are taking liberties. You know what I'm saying? They need hands and feet and all sorts of things. But once you simmer down, you're there kind of thinking like, raw, like, man's family's probably seeing this. Man's peoples are seeing this. Not understanding what my journey is, because I don't really tell everybody my journey. Like, my cousin will phone me the other day, like, what's going on? You're online doing all sorts of things. And I'm saying, yeah, I'm doing all sorts of things because I'm doing what I want to do. I've got a plan to do what I'm doing. And I believe it can take me somewhere. So I don't need to let you know where I'm going. Yeah, but I feel like this and this is this person speaking about you, that person speaking. I'm getting the call from this and I'm saying, listen, I can't control that, I'm on the internet. I knew what I was doing when I signed up for the role. But I don't need to elaborate on it. But then I start thinking like, what are they going through? It's bigger than me, innit? They could be going through certain things that, disturb their mental health. And it's a deep subject, man. It's a deep conversation. I just wanted to bring it to my platform just to have the discussion, just to raise it, the awareness. Because I know the awareness is there, but in our communities, it's like it's never really spoken of. No one really wants to talk about it because I think they're scared of being looked at like, you know what I mean? But me, like I said, man, I'm easy. I'm not trying to prove I'm Mr. Tough Guy and none of that stuff. Like, with my audience, honesty, be open. That was rule number one for me. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is how I feel regarding the mental health. It's like, yeah, man, go through things with these situations back and forth, but I don't feel like I'm affected by it. Like I'm sitting here sad or I'm sitting here like, no, I'm just carrying on with my day. What did they say? Yeah, all right, cool, noted. When I get round to my segment, it's over, buddy. But then maybe there is something going on with my mental health through these situations, because remember, you have to be thick-skinned. I know there's a pause out there somewhere, but we don't do that over here. But you have to be tough, man. You have to know that, like, someone's trying to go at you, guard your reputation with your life. That's the saying, isn't it? They're not situations I would like to have like all the time, regardless of people, because we all know controversy sells. But again, is it worth the mental health? And that could be for your folks. Your mum getting wind of something. Yo, I heard that. They don't know how serious this thing is. They don't understand what you can control and what you can't. So within our communities especially, I don't see no one on the blocks, no one in the areas that we're all from talking about mental health, you know, whether they're going to therapy for their mental health. And 9 times out of 10, most people would laugh at someone if they told them they're going to see a therapist for mental health. But I'm here to say we need to forget that and allow all of that, because it's a serious thing. You know how much people take their lives in that due to mental health, suicides and that. The numbers are ridiculous, you know? So each one teach one. Like I said, I don't have the answers. I don't have the solutions. I just know that I need to talk about it on my platform. So if someone's watching and they can relate, like I said, I suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. It's crazy. I don't know where it came from, how I got it. It just happens, bro. It happens to me. So watching KC earlier on open up about his mental health and that, I was like, raw. I didn't think them things there affected rich folks and that, but clearly it affects all of us, innit? So we have to be mindful of the situation we're in. I don't know what the answer is, but you should feel comfortable talking to your people, talking to the folks and that, about how you're feeling, what you're going through. Because the umbrella, there's so many things under the umbrella, man. Like I said, I got 2 out of everything else under there, you know? So, yeah, man. Have the conversation with your people and your folks and that. You get me? And if you need to go see therapists, you know, you don't look strange at all for doing that, you know? But it's crazy, man. Because someone messaged me the other day and was like, how you going through all these back and forths? How's your mental health? And I laughed. I was like, what do you mean, how's my mental health, bro? And again, that showed me, oh, hold on. Pride? How is my mental health? For real, though. You know, so I took some time out and I was like, but again, I was just like, I feel cool. Like, do I like going through these back and forths? No. Do I like people thinking they can talk to me in a certain way or talk about me in a certain way? No. Do I like seeing videos after videos of man and looking like this and looking like that? No, but I understand that's a part of the assignment, man. It was bound to happen and it will continue to happen, you know. But just wanted to have this discussion with you lot, man. Let me know how you lot feel about it. Like I said, I don't have the answers to it. I think the situation and the conversation for mental health is a serious one. One that I need to even look into a bit more. But yeah, man, we all go through it. So just know, you're not alone, you know. But it's the landing, man. Make sure you subscribe. You never know what we might talk about.
Call me Saint Nick. Caesar with me too. Going ape shit. Gorillas in the zoo. We had to break shit.